welcome to the Doctors Who podcast. I think we have a pretty cool show, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Some people say.
Anyway, my name's Chris.
At least one person. I'm Chip.
I'm Brian.
And what we're doing today is we're going to tell you what we're covering next.
What did we just get done reading again?
The Name of the Wind by
That's right.
Patrick Rothfuss. So all of our discussions on Patrick Rothfuss's The Name of the Wind.
Well, 10 plus one of them, really. We technically did 11
Right.
episodes
We did.
on...
But there is a playlist on our channel, so you can go watch them in sequential order if you have an inordinate thank you, amount of time on your hands. There has been a lot of Belgian beer flowing.
So good.
Yeah, it was tasty.
It was. So, what we're going to do
So where do we
today-
go from here?
Right. We really like the books.
Yeah.
I think going in and actually reading and doing that was a lot of fun. Previously, we'd done like some Doctor Who episodes.
Yep.
We'd covered a lot of Star Trek Discovery. We looked at Avengers Endgame. And while all of those were rewarding, I think just like the books,
The source material.
That really
right?
hit close to home for all of
Yeah.
us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I really liked the fact, knowing that The Name of the Wind and all of Rothfuss's books are, been optioned for movies, prequel
Yeah.
TV shows.
Mhm. Yeah.
And actually the book that we're going to read next has been optioned. I think the whole universe that this author's created has been, the rights have been sold to a production company to do something with it. We don't know what yet, but
Sure.
But they're, based on the little bit I've read so far, there's a wealth of material here that somebody could work with.
So let's just hang back for 5 seconds and we'll let anybody watching guess what we're about to reveal.
What is it?
Oh, I've got it right here. It's
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
very good.
So,
I thought Chris knew something that we didn't.
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
I don't know anything.
So it's not the Wheel of Time,
No,
but
it
it was
isn't.
somebody involved
Is
with the
it-
Wheel of Time.
Right, yeah.
Is it Harry Potter?
Almost. You're so close. We are going to be looking at the first Mistborn novel, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. So, Brandon Sanderson, who is an incredibly successful fantasy author in his own right.
Right. And when he came in to finish the Wheel of Time, I think he'd only published a couple of books.
I think like
One-
Elantris and maybe
the first
one other.
Mistborn,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But in reading a little bit about him, I didn't know a lot about him. He was a graduate of Brigham Young University and went on his mission. But I think he switched degrees. I can't remember what his first degree was, but he ended up being an English or creative writing major, and he teaches a creative writing course at Brigham Young
Yeah.
still.
Wow.
Yeah, he does.
But I think it said that he had written 12 books before his first book had been published. So he's a very prolific writer.
Wow.
And as my brother's the
And
one that
very
kind
dedicated.
of, my brother John, if he's listening or watching,
Hi,
hey,
John.
what's going on?
Hey, John.
He's the one that kind of dropped the idea of, I said, we've really been talking about where we want to go from here. And he said, you guys should check out Sanderson. He said, I know you finished Wheel of Time, and that's my only exposure to Brandon Sanderson as a writer.
Yeah.
He said, but he read the Stormlight Archives, and I think he said he's going to read Mistborn kind of along as we do it now.
And I've actually got the first 2 books of the Stormlight Archives.
They're huge.
Here. And that's why I think we opted not to do that. It's like,
Not to
okay,
start.
let's do something a little more
Approachable?
approachable. Yeah.
But John had said that, he's like, I think you'd really like it, and he said he hadn't read the Mistborn books, he'd only read Stormlight, but that all of his books all kind of take place in the same universe, if you will.
Oh, that's cool.
Sure.
Okay.
So then there's
That's cool,
kind
sure.
of tied, kind of like what Stephen King did with the Dark Tower, and how it kind of
kinda
themes
like-
kind of have tendrils into other books that he's written. So anyway, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm looking at my bookshelf here because there was like...
Your Stephen King books are down there. I don't know what you're looking for.
But this is a very
This
well-known...
makes for a good video.
Very
It
well-known
does.
novel.
It does. We're just gonna stare at a bookcase that you guys can't see, and the views are gonna go through the freaking roof.
Yeah.
But if you go back to the other episodes we did, it will be in the background.
You can see him there.
But it's funny because
there was a specific author that did that. He built this entire world, and then everything he wrote was within that world, and I don't remember.
Dr. Seuss.
No.
Yeah.
But close. But close.
I don't know.
So,
you were gonna say something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A coworker of mine was actually kind of following along with this as well, and
good. Does he subscribe?
I don't know if he does, but I will tell him to subscribe. Please subscribe, Matt, if you're watching.
Matt, we will love you more if you subscribe.
Yes, we will. I'll do that work request I owe you. Maybe.
But if you don't subscribe, you won't do it.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But he actually had talked about
Robbery
this.
works, right?
It should.
Only if they give in.
Oh, that's peer pressure.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
go ahead.
he had actually talked about, he had read some of Patrick Rothfuss, and he had really loved the Mistborn series, and so he had talked about the series before, and it makes sense that we're kind of sticking to a classic, strong, high sci-fi genre book. Fantasy book. Sorry.
Have you been drinking?
He'll get there.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he will.
High fantasy book.
Yes.
So what I thought I would do is I would just kind of read the synopsis on the jacket. We found a cool piece of artwork that depicts kind of the opening scene. Now, full disclosure, I have not read a page of this yet. You've read a little bit, right?
I have. I had jury duty this week, and I had some time on my hands
Sure.
while I was waiting to be selected, so I did read about 100 pages.
Okay. Brian?
Not a page.
So you're right there with me. Okay, cool. All right. So, for 1,000 years the ash fell and no flowers bloomed. For 1,000 years the Ska slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler, the sliver of infinity, reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, divinely invincible. Then, when hope was so long lost that not even its memory remained, a terribly scarred, heartbroken half-Ska rediscovered it in the depths of the Lord Ruler's most hellish prison. Kelsier?
Kelsier.
Kelsier.
What I did read is that most of the pronunciations, if you kind of take a French-speaking approach to them,
Interesting.
is,
Okay.
like if you think of the French Revolution,
Got it,
there's
sure.
a big
Sure.
revolution
Yeah,
here. That,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Kelsier snapped and found in himself the powers of a Mistborn. A brilliant thief and natural leader, he turned his talents to the ultimate caper, with the Lord Ruler himself as the mark. Kelsier recruits the underworld's elite, the smartest and most trustworthy allomancers, each of whom shares one of his many powers, and all of whom relish a high-stakes challenge. Then, Kelsier reveals his ultimate dream, not just the greatest heist in history, but the downfall of the divine despot. But even with the best criminal crew ever assembled, Kel's plan looks more like the ultimate long shot, until luck brings a ragged girl named Vin into his life. Like him, she's a half-Ska orphan, but she's lived a much harsher life. Vin has learned to expect betrayal from everyone she meets. She will have to learn to trust if Kel is to help her master powers of which she has never dreamed.
That sounds about right. From what I've read so far.
All right, cool. And so let's pop over to this piece of art, and it is in the background we have like volcanoes and mountains, and
they talk about
looks like scorched earth almost.
Yeah,
stuff,
and
right?
I haven't read far into it, but they talk a lot about the ashfall and just the red skies and the constant burning and volcanic activity, and then at night the mists rise and kind of envelop the cities and the plains and the world.
So this is called Mistborn: The Final Empire, the opening scene, and it's by Francis Goeltner. And it features some, I'm assuming, highborn ruling class with umbrellas to shield themselves from the ashfall.
And in what you read before, the Ska are basically the serf or the slave class,
which
and that's
are
where
these people in the foreground.
And I believe Kelsier might be the one staring him down.
Okay, cool.
Because they don't name him particularly in the prologue, but
Yeah.
There's a slave that is basically staring down the Lord in that scene.
Okay.
I won't give you any more than that.
Sure.
But
And so, having read that synopsis, and I think we've had this discussion where it almost feels like kind of like an Ocean's 11.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of like a heist that
Yeah.
this kind of high-level
Yeah.
thieving crew is planning.
And what I know of Brandon Sanderson is he's very good with like magic systems and developing tangible.
Yeah, and kind of like Rothfuss, it feels very real.
Yeah.
It's very... It seems plausible.
Cool.
Okay.
The other thing that, and I know I've read a little bit of it, but the little bit that I've read also reminds me a lot of Frank Herbert and what he did with Dune, where there's a big, high ruling class, and he refers to things as the great houses, which I believe
Sure.
in Dune they refer to the great houses of the Landsraad.
Yes.
So there's kind of the great houses of this world and the ruling class, and then there's the ministries. There's like the Ministry of Steel. There's a couple others, but I think I like
Cool.
the Bene Gesserit and the Mining Guild and some of the things in Dune.
Space
So it just
Museum.
feels like a little bit of maybe an homage or just it's some influence from what
Awesome.
Herbert created. But it feels just within the first 100 pages like a fully realized world. And I'm pretty impressed so far. I haven't
Cool.
really dug into a book like this in a while, and it makes me want to stay up and read each night.
One of the things that I really like when I start digging into something like this is I love, like, so I think Tolkien called it secondary creation. Like, you build this entire world and you tell a story within it, and every aspect or nuance
Was Tolkien
is
the author
fleshed
you were
out.
thinking of earlier that
No,
built the world
it
and told
wasn't.
all the stories in
No.
the same world?
No.
He did.
He did, but that was not who I was thinking of.
Okay.
And now since you brought it back up, I'm...
Ooh.
Feist. Raymond Feist.
Oh.
Raymond Feist with
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but I love when authors will like build an entire world to tell a story in. Like they'll build this entire world that spans thousands of years, and they'll tell you something that happened in this 18
A little sliver of time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. So I'm excited to start in on this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be great.
Yep.
I don't know what to expect though.
I don't either, and
Because
like I said, I just read a sliver of it. So
the synopsis gives you enough to be like, oh yeah, cool, that sounds fun, but not enough to really say, okay, I think I have a solid idea of where this is going, because I
Yeah.
really don't. What are they stealing?
As well.
what are they
maybe
fighting?
is
'Cause,
Right.
You know,
Well,
it's like there's this whole empire and this ruling
Sure,
class
yeah.
that they've been robbing from through the years. But is there a bigger thing planned?
Yeah.
You know, to
like
take
is
on.
it going to be thwarted by Mother Nature? Like in that picture, it looked
Oh.
like the volcano was erupting, and
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
is something going to happen?
Yeah.
Feels like the world is very volatile.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
Yes.
So we are excited to start in on this book, and we
Yes,
will be
we are.
coming at you next week with the first set of chapters. I don't think we know which ones yet.
No.
But maybe what we can do is we can figure out what that looks like, and we can post that on social media.
And I'll try to do what I've done with Rothfuss stuff and try to post a blog on the website too,
That's
kind of
perfect.
that
Yeah.
coincides with what we've talked about.
Yeah, so you can find our blog at www.tardiscast.com.
That was a good segue.
It was. Look at that.
Oh,
It's right
God.
there at the bottom.
Nice. Ooh,
Whoa.
pretty.
Where'd that come from?
It's over here somewhere. There you go, Brian. Thank you. It's like John Stockton dishing up the assist to Karl Malone.
Boy, that's an old callback from the Utah
Man,
Jazz.
Yeah.
Postman doesn't deliver on Sundays until he does.
Until the NBA schedules games on Sundays.
Right.
But I would say you can also maybe expect some additional updates from us on Twitter or Instagram. Our handles are TDW Podcast. So check us out there.
Awesome.
All right.
If you're interested in following along and seeing what we think of this book and kind of analyzing as we go along, the subscribe button should be down there somewhere. So go ahead and click that. I think there's also like a notifications button just to get
Yeah.
like priority notifications when somebody you subscribe to posts something new. So feel free to knock that one out as well.
Nice. Yeah.
I think if
Might
we
as well.
follow the same format, we'll be covering, roughly 80 to 100 pages
Yeah.
per
Yeah, I mean
episode.
it's bite size. You can pick up the book and kind of read along as we read along, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Absolutely.
Cool. Do we have anything else? Any words of wisdom? Inspiration? No? You look tired.
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Busy couple of weeks. Jury duty stuff.
Do you want to snuggle? Because Brian's right there.
I will say that.
Maybe.
Have you seen that jury duty is practically the American dream? Because you get a couple days off work and you get to go judge people.
And I got a free lunch.
And you got a free lunch?
Yeah.
Wow.
So while we deliberated.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it good lunch?
No, not great.
Okay.
It was free.
All right.
So price is right.
There you go.
All right.
I didn't get my $30 for jury duty.
Somewhat good.
What?
What do I need to do to get that, I wonder?
So what you do?
Huh.
Take that off the wall.
Narsil?
Yeah, and just go find them.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
if they
because I
don't
don't
give
think I
you
could
their-
pick up.
I'm sure.
Mjolnir.
No, you couldn't do that. And Brian's head's blocking it.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Anyway, we should stop while we're ahead.
But we have a lot of fun on this podcast,
do.
so you should join us.
We do, and we've been drinking.
Maybe that's the words of wisdom: is not too much Belgian ale in one evening,
But some.
but enough.
Yes.
A little bit, it's okay.
Find that window. Embrace that window.
The triple was the
Caress
one that put us over the top. I
that
think.
window.
The 9.5% was good. All right.
All right, I think we're done.
Alrighty.
Thank you for listening. Please check us out at our website, tardiscast.com, or on social media at TDW Podcast.
See you guys next week.
Yes, next week.
Allons-y.